Good evening, everyone. This is January 2021, Unit 4CH1 and Paper 1CR. Uh, the box lists some substances. Choose substance from the box to answer these questions. Each substance may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Name a metallic element or a metal. Which substance is a metal? So we have copper, the first one. That will be A. Name a compound. So air is a mixture, bromine is their element, carbon element, glucose C6H12O6, so that is a compound. Name a mixture, so air is a mixture. Name an element that is gas at room temperature, the element which is gas at room temperature, so we have nitrogen. It's nitrogen is gas at room temperature, as well as it can be oxygen. So D, this can be D or D, but we have to just name one of them. And name an element that form a basic oxide or metal oxide. So which one of them is metal? We have copper as a metal, so again E will be there for copper. Name two elements that are in the same group of a periodic table, so element which belongs to same group. Oxygen and sulfur both belongs to group 6, so we can write either oxygen or sulfur for the last part. A student does a chromatography experiment using ink 1, ink 2, and 3 known dyes ABC. The student uses water as a solvent. The diagram shows the student's chromatogram. Deduce what conclusion can you made about ink 1. What we can say about ink 1? First thing, ink 1, it's not pure because there are many spots. So it contains 3 dyes. It contains A as well because you can see the level of the A is balancing. It contains B, and it does not contain C. Why it does not contain C? As you can see the level, the position for C, that is not there. So it does not contain C, it contain A, it contain B, and it also contain any unknown substance which we don't know. Give one conclusion that you can made about ink 2. What we can make a conclusion about ink 2? Because ink 2 remain on the origin, so we can say that it is insoluble in water, does not rise. Suggest how student could change the experiment to find composition of ink 2. So because water is not a suitable solvent for ink 2, it is not soluble in water. So we can use any other solvent and repeat the procedure. Calculate the RF value of the dye C. How to find the RF value? RF value is the distance moved by the spot to a distance moved by solvent front from origin. So we'll measure the distance of spot from the origin, and we'll measure the distance of the solvent front from the origin. And the two distances, like example, if I say this one is A, this one is B, so A divided by B will give us the RF value. For this you have to use a ruler, a hard copy to work out the RF value. Crude oil is a mixture of organic compounds. Most of these compounds are members of the same homologous series. State name of this homologous series. So crude oil mainly it's a mixture of alkanes, hydrocarbons which are having a single bond. An industrial process is used to separate the crude oil into fraction. The process depends on the difference in the property of a fraction. What is this property? Fraction distillation we use, and fraction distillation based on the boiling point. The box gives some uses of the fractions and the name of the fractions. Fuel for airplanes. So we use kerosene or paraffin for use for airplanes or fuel for airplanes. Fuel for ships, we use a fuel oil. And for fuel, like road surfaces, road carpeting. So what we use for this purpose, we use bitumen. Fuel obtained from fractions may contain impurity. Explain how combustion of a common impurity in fuel may cause an environmental problem. So commonly what happens that fuel may contain a sulfur. Sulfur, the impurity might be sulfur, and burning of a sulfur forms sulfur dioxide, and sulfur dioxide can lead to formation of acid rain. Some of the fractions contain long chain molecules which are not very useful. Give name of the process used to convert a long chain into useful one. So for this purpose, what we use cracking. Give a catalyst in the temperature. The catalyst for the cracking, we use normally alumina or silica, and the temperature is around 600 or to 700. So silica is used, and temperature is around 600. Then we have to complete equation. Uh, Three different molecules are formed. Complete the equation for this reaction. So as a result, C13 H28 and C8 H18 is already there. So what we can write, we can break into C3 H6, or we can also the further we can make C2 H4. When iron is left in a damp air, rust forms on the surface. State a chemical name for the rust. So chemically, what rust is known as, it is known as hydrated iron 3 oxide. How a barrier method prevents rusting. So how the barrier method is actually preventing rusting or prevents rusting. So basically the barrier method does not allow oxygen or water to interact with iron. It protects the iron surface and does not allow the iron to interact with surrounding oxygen and water. That's how it prevents iron from rusting. A student uses this apparatus to find approximate percentage by volume of oxygen in air. The student's method: place a graduated glass tube in a beaker, place some damp iron wool and rubber bung in the top of the tube, record the reading of a water level, leave the apparatus, and then record the new level. The diagram shows the reading at the start and at the end of experiment. Use the readings to complete the table and give your values to nearest zero point 0.5 cm3. So beginning or start, at the beginning or at the start, what is the volume? The volume is 20.5. And at the end, what is the volume? The reading at the end when you read, so it is 33.5. So when you take the difference, volume of oxygen, when you take the difference, you will get the volume of oxygen, so that is 13. The student uses the result to calculate the percentage by volume, suggests why her value is lower than the expected value. So what might be a reason? Because maybe what happened, not all of the iron or not all of the oxygen reacted with iron. That's why the student value will be lower than the expected value, because it's a slow process, so it will take time for a complete reaction. The student repeat the experiment. These are her results for the second experiment. Use the result, calculate the percentage by volume of oxygen. So reading at the start, reading at the end, so that will give us the difference in the Difference in the volume will give us the volume of oxygen, and volume of oxygen divided by total volume multiplied by 100. So when we take a difference, it will be 15.5. So 15.5 is the volume of oxygen divided by total volume of air times 100. So this will give us about 19% oxygen is present in air. Still, because some of the oxygen does not react, that's why the percentage is on the lower side. A student uses this apparatus to investigate the effect of heat on different solid metal carbonate. Uses spatula, put some metal carbonate in a boiling tube, fit the delivery tube into a position, pour some lime water, then start a timer. Immediately begin to heat the metal carbonate, record the time when the change occur. Metal carbonate decomposed to metal oxide plus carbon dioxide. State the name given to this type of reaction we call decomposition or thermal decomposition. State two variables that the student could control in this investigation. So the two variables which should be same for the experiment, we should take same size of the marble chips or metal carbonate here, or same volume of the lime water, same source of heat should be used. Suggest why the bubbles appear in the live water immediately after heating has started, but before there is any change of the metal, change to metal carbonate. So why we observe the bubbles? Because what happens when we start to heat, the air is present and the air actually moving out from, or it is expanding due to heat. As the air is present in this region, that expand, and that's why we see bubbles due to air. Explain the purpose of the lime water. Lime water is a test for checking the presence of the carbon dioxide, and which confirm that the metal carbonate has decomposed. Copper carbonate, when it decomposes into copper oxide plus carbon dioxide. So the color copper oxide, it is black, so it will change. State the color change that occur for copper to carbon. Originally it is green, but it turned into black. Copper carbonate is green in color, copper oxide is black in color. Write a chemical equation for copper carbonate. So we have CuCO3, which decompose into CO plus CO2. So copper carbonate decompose into copper oxide plus carbon dioxide. There is a relationship between the position of a metal in the reactivity series and how easily the metal carbonate react when heated. Use the student result and your knowledge deduce a relation. So you can see that for sodium carbonate, it does not decompose on heating. As calcium, it took about calcium carbonate 90 seconds and copper carbonate took 50 seconds. So what we can say, when the metal is lower in the reactivity or less reactive metal carbonate, they can decompose easily. As copper is less reactive, sodium is more reactive, so less reactive metal carbonate can decompose easily. State how you should extend the investigation to, if your deduction is correct. So how you will do or how you will complete this experiment. You will repeat this procedure with different metal carbonates. Like you should have more samples of metal carbonate. Zinc react with hydrochloric acid to form hydrogen. Write a chemical equation for this. So when metal react with acid, it will give salt plus hydrogen. Give a test for hydrogen, it will be a lighted splint hops. A student investigation a student investigates the reaction between piece of zinc and hydrochloric acid in experiment. He collect the hydrogen and measure the volume of experiment. The graph shows this. Use a graph, find the minimum volume of acid required to react all zinc. When the volume start to be constant, it means no more reaction. So this is the volume of acid which is completely reacting with zinc metal. Which is approximately, each box is representing 2, so it will be 50. So the student repeat the investigation using hydrochloric acid of double original concentration. Determine the volume of hydrogen that would be collected using 15 cm cube of acid, and show you're working on the graph. So first 15 cm cube of acid, you will check how much volume is there for hydrogen gas when you are using 15 cm cube of acid, because determine the volume of hydrogen that would be collected using 15 cm cube of this acid. So originally when we were using 15 cm cube of acid, this is 10, this is 15. So approximately this, each box is also 2, so this one is 30, about 32. So with 15 cm cube you was getting 32, but if you double the concentration, the volume will also be double, so you will collect 64 cm cube if you double the concentration of HCl. Explain how increasing a concentration of hydrochloric acid affects the rate. So when we increase the concentration, increasing a number of the particle greater the number of particle greater the successful corrosion. That's why the rate of the reaction will increase. The rate of reaction could also be affected by changing temperature. Explain one another way rate of reaction between zinc and hydrochloric acid can be affected. So it can be affected by surface area. If we use small particle size, they will have large surface area. It will increase number of collisions per second, which increases the rate of the reaction. In question 7, the formation of ions and covalent bonds involve electrons. Describe the different role of electron in formation of ions in lithium chloride and covalent bond hydrogen chloride. So in lithium chloride, what happened? It's an ionic compound. So the bonds are formed by transfer of electron. Oppositely charged ions attract each other. Whereas hydrogen chloride is a simple molecular or simple covalent compound and weak force between the molecules, and the attraction between the shared pair of electron and the nucleus is keeping the bond together. Explain why lithium chloride has higher melting point than hydrogen chloride. Refer to the structure and bonding. So why lithium chloride is having a higher boiling point? Because what happened in lithium chloride, as the structure, it's a ionic compound, it will have a giant structure. So as it will have a giant structure, greater amount of energy or force is needed to separate the ions from each other, where hydrogen chloride is a simple compound, simple molecular compound, a simple covalent compound having weak force between the molecules. Explain what is meant by isomers. Isomers means they have same molecular formula but different structures. Organic compound Q react with bromine without the presence of a UV ultraviolet light to form compounds. Draw a displayed formula of Q. So compound Q, basically C4H8 means it is butene, and we have to draw two isomers of butene. So what we'll do, we'll simply change the position of a double bond, like it can be but1ene or it can be but2ene. So first we'll draw but1ene. and then we will draw but3. Then acrylic polymer can be formed molecule with this structure. A student described the molecule as unsaturated. Explain whether this is correct description. So the term unsaturated means the compound contain carbon-carbon double bond, but student suggests that it is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Like student describe a molecule, it is unsaturated, but not a hydrocarbon, because hydrocarbon contain carbon and hydrogen only, but this molecule is having oxygen as well. Name type of polymerization, so it will undergo addition polymerization, as there is a carbon-carbon double bond. Then we have to deduce the structure of the polymer. Put a bracket and N. Octane is a compound in petrol. The equation for complete combustion of octane is there. A fuel tank of a car contains 50 dm cube of octane. Calculate the mass in kilogram of carbon dioxide if all octane in the tank undergo a complete combustion. So first we'll get the moles of octane, and from moles of octane we'll find moles of carbon dioxide. Moles equal volume in dm cube divided by 24. That will give us a mole of octane. So moles of octane will be 50 divided by 24. So after getting the moles of octane, which is 50 divided by 24, we will use the ratio, we'll use the mole ratio. The molar mass of octane a fuel tank, it's contained 50 dm cube, but this is octane in a liquid state. The formula which we normally use for volume in dm cube divided by 24, that is for the gas. So as the state is not mentioned which state we have octane, normally when we have petrol, that is in a liquid state, it vaporized during a combustion, so that might not give us the correct answer. That's why they give you the hint here, 1 dm cube is equals to 700. So if you have 50 dm cube, so it will be 50 multiplied by 700. So 50 multiplied by 700, that will give us 35,000 grams. Then we'll get the moles of octane. Moles equal mass in gram, 35,000 divided by molar mass of octane, so that is 114. And we will use the, you can use the mass ratio, we can also use the mole ratio. If I get the mole here, this will be 307 moles for octane, and the mole ratio between carbon dioxide and octane 1:8 from the equation. So 1 mole of octane gives 8 moles of carbon dioxide. So if we have 307, then this will be x. Cross multiply, we'll get the moles, and after getting a moles, we'll multiply by molar mass to get the mass in gram. Mass in gram equals mole multiplied by molar mass. So it will be 307 multiplied by 8 multiplied by molar mass of carbon dioxide. So the final result, answer will be, as 1:8 is the ratio, these are the moles, so we'll get the total moles, and then this will be multiplied by molar mass, that will get in grams. 10,800, well, 10,870, and then we will divide by 1,000. Sorry, 108,070 grams, and then we'll convert into kilogram divided by 1,000. So it will be 109 approximately, or 108 kilograms. The state and environmental problem caused by carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, so it can cause a global warming or can contribute to a climate change. Lithium, sodium, potassium are the first three elements in group 1. Suggest why these three elements are all stored in paraffin or oil. So these metals, they are highly reactive, so prevent their reaction with atmospheric oxygen or moisture or water vapor. We keep them in paraffin oil. Cesium is below potassium, gives similarity and a difference between reaction of potassium. So when they react, as a result, they will give hydrogen gas. So we'll see bubbles, and the difference will be there. Cesium, as we go down the group, reactivity increases. So cesium will have violent reaction compared to that of potassium. Then equation for reaction of cesium with water. So these are group 1. They will form hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So cesium hydroxide will be there and hydrogen gas. So if you want to balance this equation, this is a balanced equation. Student investigate the temperature change in the reaction between dilute acid and a solution of group 1 hydroxide. Use apparatus. This is the student's method. Measure a temperature of 50 cm cube of hydrochloric acid, pour acid into a polystyrene cup, 50 cm cube of sodium hydroxide solution, then measure the maximum. Suggest what could be added to apparatus to improve the experimental accuracy. Because it can lose heat energy from the top as well, so we can add a lid or a cover at the top. Explain a change to a method that would improve the accuracy of the experiment. So instead of directly recording the maximum temperature, what students should do, students should mix the solution, stir the solution, and then record, so that there's a uniform transfer of heat throughout the mixture, and we'll have a more accurate temperature reading. The student should stir the solution so that he can obtain more accurate value for the final temperature. These are the students' result: the temperature of hydrochloric acid, maximum temperature of the mixture. Calculate the energy change in joule for this reaction. So Q is equals to Cm delta T. C is the specific heat, and we assume that the specific heat of the solution is same as that of water, which is 4.2. M is the mass. So what will be the mass, or what mass we will take? As you can see, the two solutions are mixed in the beginning. Measure 50 cm cube of hydrochloric acid. So, and we assume the density is 1 gram per cm cube, which is for a pure water. So if we have 100 cm cube of a solution, it means it will be 100 grams, and the temperature change, it will be 26.5 minus 19.9. 26.5 minus 19.9, and we'll multiply all these factors to get the energy, which is 2800 joules. In the students reaction between hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide, 0.05 moles of water formed. State enthalpy change per moles. Enthalpy change is energy divided by moles. So energy we already calculated 2800, and the moles are 0.05. But the final answer, this is 2800 joules. So if we have to convert into kilojoule, we divide by 1000, so it will be 2.8 kilojoule, and divided by the mole 0.05 mole, so we'll get our final answer in kilojoule per mole. As the temperature increase, the reaction is exothermic, so we should represent via negative sign. This question is about salts. Soluble salts can be prepared by reaction. Metal oxide plus acid gives salt and water. State the name given to this type of reaction. So what we call when acid react with metal oxide or metal carbonate, we call that as neutralization reaction. State in terms of proton what happened in this reaction. So acids are proton donors, so acid will donate its proton, and that will be or the metal actually, like acid we have to tell. So acids are proton donors, so acid will donate their proton. A student is given 50 cm cube of dilute sulfuric acid and a bottle of solid copper to carbonate. Describe a method student should use to prepare saturated solution of copper to sulfate. So what student will do? Student will take a spatula and transfer copper carbonate. Will take 50 cm cube of sulfuric acid transferred into a flask, and then add copper carbonates by using a spatula until no more bubbles form, and then filtered the solution to remove unreacted copper to carbonate. So now we have a solution of copper to sulfate. Student produces a dry crystal of hydrated copper to sulfate from saturated solution. He calculates that 6.4 gram of dry crystal should be formed. The mass of the dry crystal he actually obtained is 1.8 less than he calculated. So calculate the student percentage yield and give your answer. So practically, the percentage yield is a practical value divided by theoretical value into 100. So it was suggested that he should get 6.4, but he is getting 1.8 less than what he should get. So practically, how much he is getting? 6.4 minus 1.8, that's equal to 4.6. And the percentage yield is a practical value 4.6 divided by theoretical value 6.4 into 100. That will give us the percentage yield. Gypsum is hydrated calcium sulfate. A sample contains 79% calcium sulfate by mass. Calculate the mass value of X. Mass of calcium sulfate is 136, mass of water is 18. So 79% of this compound contain calcium sulfate. So remaining 21%, it means it contain water. So what we can do, we can just simply find the simplest ratio between them. We know the percentage of the calcium sulfate and water, that's 79, so this will be 21. Divide by the mass to get the moles, because we want the simplest ratio. This will be 136 and this will be by 18. So 79 divided by 136, that will be 0.58. And this will be 1.17. Divide by smallest value to find the simplest ratio. So when we divide this will be 1, this is 2. So it means the value of X, the value of water molecule are 2. X is a number of moles or molecules of water. Describe a test for calcium ion in the sample of a gypsum. So we can carry out a flame test. So it will give orange or red flame. That was the last question from January 2021 paper 1C.